Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Jeff Parker, who is here. Hi, happy Friday.
Good morning to you.
So you've got a few numbers to go over with us, and then of course, what's on everybody's mind is the vaccinations. So we'll jump to that in just a little bit.
Sure. So again, good news in the sense of trending on numbers that we focus on. Positive cases down to 336, so that we're seeing a low number there. Yet tests reported are still up high, so that ratio is what you want to look for. So that's going in the right direction. The only negative we talked about is unfortunately people that have passed away. Another 41 reported today now. Over 3,600 people who have unfortunately passed away in Orange County.
Right.
And that's obviously a sad thing and affects families everywhere, obviously. But on the hospitalization, again, the trend's going in the right direction. We're now under 700 overall hospitalizations and all the way down to 230 in ICUs. And so again, for those being treated for COVID or anything else that's serious, having this hospitalization rates going down is critical to being able to give the best care that they can throughout the county. So those are all
awesome.
positive.
Yeah, that's a great number. And in fact, I remember when I was speaking to one of the doctors, what they were saying, and this was months and months after we'd already been in it, is they said, now we know how to treat people with the COVID virus, so that way they don't end up in ICU. So that's the great thing, is that they have the medications necessary and they've been experimenting with them and they've found the right solutions, I think. So that's great.
With regards to the village itself, and when we say the village, I talk about the city of Laguna Woods because that's how it's noted on there. We're at 385 cases that have been reported and 28 fatalities. Now, the good news about that is we had seen a climb going up, but we only went up since last time we talked, only one case.
Yeah, that's great.
So from 384 to 385, and the death has stayed the same. So it looks like we're leveling out, which is really good news for not only the city of Laguna Woods, but for the village as well.
Oh, absolutely. And then, like we've talked about many times, is that there's many people here who are over the age of 75 that were of extreme concern. So that's good to know. And then we're getting so much closer.
Yeah.
So wait, I forgot. So positive tests, isn't that now in the red?
It is.
So doesn't that mean we should move?
Well, we can't because we got to. We'd like that, wouldn't we?
Okay, it's done.
But that is a super, super good sign that we finally have kind of gone out of that threshold of the purple. Now it's the adjusted cases that are going to be the critical side of that.
Oh.
That 20.7 though is going down pretty steadily. Remember, we were at 46, even high. We were at 86 at one point in time.
Right.
We went to 46 in the last 3 weeks, and now down to 20. It's definitely trending quickly in the right direction, and that, like you say, the test positive rate of 7.8 is already in the red tier. So. Again, what that means for the county is more and more things can reopen if we get into the red. So that's where everybody wants to head towards, that tier 2.
Yeah, it's asking. I think that's asking quite a bit, because on the one, you've got the daily new cases per 100,000, which obviously has to be, under 7.
Right.
And then you've got the positive tests under 8. So wow.
People that are being tested,
Yeah.
that's that differential between that 13,000 that got tested and that 368 cases that were showing up, that shows you that it's important that the testing still goes on, so that people know, and that will create that positivity rate. Continue to flow.
Well, good.
It's really good.
Yep, good. Trending in the right direction is very important for sure, because I know people are starting to move around, get out and about. But one thing that I've heard that's been very nice is most of the restaurants are doing a very good job of keeping people at some distances and things like that, especially around here, because they know who the clientele is. So
exactly, and as you said, the weather's getting nicer this weekend, so I imagine that will get more people out. And again, social distancing, wearing masks is still real important when you're out there in this environment, because there's a lot of people that still haven't gotten the first vaccine.
Exactly.
And you're really not protected at the level that you want to be protected until you really get the second dose, and it's had time to work. So
Right.
it is an ongoing challenge that we have, and we got a long ways to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's not just us. The whole
Absolutely.
nation is having issues,
Right.
and the weather didn't help.
Exactly.
So I know you have some things to let us know about our vaccination distribution here in Laguna
And
Woods.
that's a perfect segue. Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, we were notified yesterday that we're not going to be receiving our second dose allocation, which was, we were kicking off our second dose program starting this weekend with the towers on Friday today and the rest of the village on Saturday and Sunday. Two things. One, supply distribution problems throughout the country, not only in California, but everywhere, affecting Orange County Health as far as getting
Right.
allocations out there. So they're scrambling, some other locations, super sites closing and not being
Yeah.
able to operate. And then, as well as that, as you mentioned, the severe weather on the East Coast and the South, the distribution and trucking and flying out and all of those flights canceled and everything, that slowed down the distribution of vaccines to the state of California.
Sure.
And as a result of that, unfortunately, Orange County Health Agency was not able to provide our allocation for this weekend. So what we're gearing up towards, and so some people had already received their notification of that their appointment was at a certain time on Saturday or Sunday. So getting code red and as well as notification from Memorial Care out to those individuals this week, letting them know, unfortunately, their appointment's being canceled. So
Okay.
we're going through the process of making sure that they understand those individuals who had appointments for this weekend are being loaded up for appointments the following weekend.
Okay.
And so what we're going to end up doing, if we can get the allocation that we anticipate getting now once the weather's getting better and they know our situation is, we're really kind of trying to double up next weekend.
Yeah.
Normally we do about 2,000, 2,500, so we're going to try to double up on that. And the reason for that is that we need to, and for everybody watching, the question is, okay, Moderna, 28 days. I've heard 28 days, 28 days, and you get your second shot.
Right.
We check with the CDC, and the CDC basically reports that the real critical time frame is 42 days from the time you receive your first shot.
Okay.
So really what that means is we count to 28 days. We have another 2 weeks to get everybody in that had that first dose. So
Yes.
in the next 2 weeks, for sure, we'll be making sure that this missed weekend, we'll get everybody in to get their second dose, as long
Okay.
as well with everybody else on schedule.
Right. Now, just to go back a little bit, that those who were scheduled for this weekend, well, today, the 20th and the 21st, are going to be canceled and then reissued new appointments for next weekend.
For the weekend of the 26th and 28th.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now, I know some people had received Pfizer. Does it differ in terms of the timing?
I don't know precisely
Okay.
on that because we were so focused on our village here.
Oh, and we only gave Moderna.
We only gave Moderna.
Oh, great. Okay,
and
good.
So there wasn't an issue.
Okay.
But my understanding is the timeframes are pretty similar with regards to the CDC's guidelines with regards to when you should get that second shot. But for sure, we checked with them with regards to the Moderna so that we could answer residents' questions, which is a great one. Okay, it said 28 days. What happens?
Right.
And I know that Orange County Health and Memorial Care are very conscious of that time frame and are not going to let it get into a situation where we're lapsing and have
Right.
to start all over again.
So you vaccinated approximately 8,000 people. So what does that mean for the second dose time frame? Meaning, how many people will you be able to vaccinate each day? And if you do get, like, let's say 5,000, just assume something number like that, will you extend it to another day? Because I don't know how many people you can do an hour.
That's a discussion that we're having with Memorial Care right now,
Okay.
whether or not we can get everybody into that weekend slot or whether or not we would have to extend. Right now, the focus is kind of like, well, let's try to double up on our numbers that we processed over the weekend. But we know that was a lot. And
Yeah.
so it really is going to come down to, are there additional people that can do the vaccinations?
Right.
Are there additional people that can volunteer, to help us not only scheduling, but also after you get the vaccination, we have people that are watching, making sure you're okay.
Exactly right.
So it takes a team to do that.
Yes.
And we want to work with Memorial Care very carefully so that if we get that 5,000, which is basically doubling up, how do we want to get that implemented? Do we want to try to do it in the Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
Or do we think we need to extend it all?
Okay.
And these are volunteers, so that's
Right.
why it's been orchestrated around the weekend.
Well, right, I know, and if they're working during the week, they can't really volunteer to help
Exactly.
on the weekend. However, if you are still looking for volunteers, is that correct?
Yeah, if you're an individual here in the village and you want to assist, you can go on our website and send a note in, and we'll coordinate with our volunteer coordinator, and we'll put you in work if we can use you. That's for sure.
Right, and there's two different types of volunteers you're looking for. One are retired professionals or from the medical industry of some sort who maybe could help administer, or people who can sit and watch folks and they don't have to be a medical professional, do they?
So, well, they do focus on that with
Okay.
regards to watching people and making sure.
Okay.
So they are using medical professionals there. But as far as orchestrating the lines and getting people checked in, we still have volunteers that are
Okay.
doing that, so we can use that. If you are a professional and you're able to do vaccines and that type of thing, then we'd want you to contact Memorial Care,
Okay.
and they'll coordinate that side of the equation.
Okay, great. And there is actually an email that people can email that their availability and what their, what kind of credentials they do
Sure.
have. You can send it to info@lagunawoodsvillage.com. I believe that's the correct one.
And
yeah.
we'll get that, make
Yeah.
sure that gets over to
Memorial Care.
Memorial
Perfect.
Care.
All right, good. Well, it's challenging any way you look at it, but you pulled off quite a remarkable situation with 8,000 people.
Yeah,
getting
it's really
vaccines.
positive. And one of the things that we, again, want to mention, we were able to also dress over 60 people, I think it's 68,
68, yeah.
69 people that we were able to go into their homes and because they were housebound in the sense of they may have had a surgery or a type
Right.
of situation where they couldn't get to the Clubhouse 7. We're going to continue to seek that information. We've heard from a few people that, hey, I would have loved to have been in that kind of situation. I have a parent or somebody that I'm taking care of, so we have that. So we're putting that list together again. We may try to evolve into being able to do that a few more times. We'll
Okay.
see how that works out.
Okay.
So yeah, that's important. But yeah, over 80, I think it's over 8,500 actually that we were able to do, and we're very pleased about that. And knowing that a lot of people also have gone to Disneyland, to Soka, CVS is now doing it. We put a blast out last week that
Yeah.
CVS is now starting. So if you take Kaiser, CVS, what we're doing, getting closer and closer to getting the village covered, and
Right.
then eventually, I think come April, we'll evaluate whether or not, once the opportunity comes that people that are 55 to 65, if we hit that category, the word that I have is that they anticipate the Johnson & Johnson vaccine to be potentially available in April, which will help get us more vaccine capability out there.
Absolutely, and more people will be able to vaccinate. So that's great. Well, good. Well, thank you for all that information. That's awesome information, and good luck. There's a lot still to do.
Sounds like, I appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
And remember, if you are a retired professional and a medical professional and you would like to participate, you can always send an email to info@lagunawoodsvillage.com. When we return, we will have the animal shelter who will talk to you about certain critters in our area that you have to watch out for. Stay tuned.